get an advantage. You get an advantage. Everybody gets an advantage. This means war. Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on CBS that is bartering more than actual pirates. That's right, I'm talking about Survivor Season 40, Winners at War, Episode 2. And let's start off this video where last episode left off, and that was Amber being voted off and heading straight for Edge of Extinction. And that's where this episode starts off, with Amber and Natalie in the early morning dusk on Edge of Extinction, and we get a very close-up confessional of Amber, which made a lovely segue to seeing Boston Rob going through his pack early in the morning and finding a fire token being passed down to him, and there is just a sickening feeling at the bottom of his gut that this is because Amber was voted off at the Lice Tribal, spoken like a true guy that's played this game 4 or 5 times. But later on at the Saleh campsite, we follow Ben and Denise walking around gathering firewood, but they're also looking around to see if they can find any hidden idols. And that's when Ben does his finding hidden idols 101 and is teaching Denise. And Denise is a quick learner and she finds it at the bottom of this stump, and she opens it up, and this one's a bit of a different kind of hidden immunity idol. This one has a caveat where you have to give the other half to somebody by sundown, and this one can only work when both halves are put together. And so Denise is trying to figure out who is she gonna give the other half to. Ben doesn't even say that he wants it. He's like, whoever you give it to, I'm cool with. And that's when she goes to her number 2 person, or her number 1 person, her right-hand man, Adam, and she spits out that she might want to give it to Poverty. And Adam is like, heck no, don't give it to her, give it to me. At least it'll stay between us. If you give it to her, she might even try to vote you out the next time. And Denise is like, that's a good point. So she gives the other half to Adam. While all this is going around, let's go to the Cal campsite, and that's when Kim is looking around for her own immunity idol that she's trying to figure out, because she is on the bottom. She was left out of the vote. She was even on the chopping block, and now she's playing from a very big disadvantage in this game. So she decides to be looking around for an idol by herself, and she actually finds it, and she has to do the same thing. She has to find a second person to give the other half to. I mean, and also she was almost at a huge disadvantage because Tony and Nick were walking up right on her when she found it. She had to hide it really quickly, and this is when she pulls Sophie and decides to give the other half to Sophie. And Sophie, I don't know what's going on in Kim's head, because Kim is saying that she really finds that her and Sophie could be working well together, and she feels a good vibe from Sophie, whereas on the other hand, Sophie is like, you should be giving this to Tyson. At least you played poker with him. Sophie even references herself as making a deal with the devil, or dealing with the devil that you've never worked with. And Sophie's like, I'm probably the last person to give this information to. Also at the Decal tribe, Tony lightens the mood a little bit by trying to make a ladder so they can get the fruit out the top of the trees, and he makes the wonkiest ladder. Oh my gosh, this thing was breaking. I was laughing so hard at this part with Tony. It was one of my favorite parts of the whole season so far. I thought the bad omen was him stepping on the first rung and it breaking. However, he climbed all the way up to the top of this thing. I think he stood at the very top, was throwing fruit down at him, and finally got down. I'm so happy he did not get hurt whatsoever, because I would have felt really bad from laughing from him making this ladder to getting all the way up to the top. I'm so happy he did not get hurt. And after all that happened, we have Cops R Us is back. The Cops R Us alliance between Sarah and Tony are back. They are willing to work together with one another. Now let's go to Edge of Extinction, as we're talking about more and more advantages. This is when Natalie and Amber get a clue on the next thing that they can find to barter off to get another fire token. They get this very cryptic message, and it talks about how maybe they are overlooking something that's out in the wide open and they need to search for it, or they need to open up their eyes wider to figure something out or to find it. And so they decide to be walking around this island, and if you looked at the clue, the first letter of every line spells out water well. They don't figure that out, but Natalie's happenstance to look down at the water well while she was by herself. She finds a bottle tied to a rock, she opens it up, and there's an advantage that she can sell to somebody on either tribe, and this advantage lets the person essentially get up and walk out of tribal council. It's the I'm out of here type of advantage. They won't get to vote, but if you leave using this advantage, you cannot be voted off. You just go straight back to the campsite. She says that she needs to find somebody that she knows has another fire token. And she decides Jeremy is the person to do that. At least she knows that he has at least one fire token because she gave him hers once she was voted off. Jeremy gets it, instantly buys it, and I just want to say that these advantages are super big and super important at the moment. I mean, I get that we have to make everything like one fire token because that's what everybody has at the moment, but these advantages, we've hit like the peak of advantages. I don't know where we go from here. She's already sold a hidden immunity idol, and she's sold essentially another hidden immunity idol, but you don't get to vote. It's different type of unique advantage, but it's just, to me, it's like there's no build-up. There's no, like, if it was me, I would think that maybe, okay, for one fire token early on in the game, we get a clue to a hidden immunity idol, or there's a hidden immunity idol at the immunity challenge, and you have to try to get it, and at least you have the clue that, oh, you have to look at the bottom of this third pedestal and try to untie it in front of everybody, but at least you know it's there. Where do we go from here? Just more immunity idols? I mean, how many people are gonna be on Edge of Extinction, and how many times are we gonna be bartering something off, and you can't essentially go from giving immunity idols to now clues. You can't go down. We'll have to wait to see what's going on. But before we get into the rest of this episode, I want to break down all the advantages and who has what. Right now, Sandra has a hidden immunity idol via Natalie from Edge of Extinction. Jeremy has the I'm out of here during tribal safety advantage via Natalie from Edge of Extinction. Boston Rob has 2 fire tokens. I know that might not be a big advantage, but he has the most fire tokens out of everybody who's still left in the game, so it's somewhat an advantage. You have Sophie and Kim having a hidden immunity idol, or each having half of a hidden immunity idol, and you have Denise and Adam both having half of a hidden immunity idol, and that's all the advantages right now. That's a lot of advantages for being in episode 2. I'm just throwing it out there. I know they're part of the game, but to me, these are winners. These should be the ones where we want to see just pure gameplay taking place with little twists here and there, not major twists. I feel like we have more hidden immunity idols than actually solid alliances in this game, but I'm not gonna harp on it too much longer. Let's just go into the next portion, which is the immunity challenge. And in this challenge, it's an obstacle course where you have to have this cart, pull this cart through this whole obstacle course, getting 3 keys to unlock 3 giant chests. You have to get through it, a barrier, you have to climb over this barrier, you have to get everything reassembled, get to a giant circle puzzle where 2 people from each tribe will be making the circle puzzle from the pieces inside the 3 treasure chests. The first tribe to do the puzzle completely first gets immunity, gets a survivor spice rack, and the losing tribe goes to tribal council. And the 2 people doing the puzzle is Sophie and Sandra. You have Boston Rob and Denise doing the puzzle for Sele. And this is when we get the confirmation, or Boston Rob gets the confirmation, that Amber was voted out. He looks pissed, and he looks like he's going to lose it on somebody. And knowing this information going into the immunity challenge, he's either going to use it to be a motivating factor to destroy the other tribe in this puzzle, or he's going to crumble in this immunity challenge, and it's just going to be stuck in the back of his head. The first part of this challenge, just getting the keys and the chest, Sele and Dakal were going back and forth, getting a little bit of advantage. But once we hit the second part, where is getting the treasure chest through the barrier, getting the cart through the barrier, Dakal was getting a major lead over Sele. They were even getting their puzzle pieces out of the box before Sele was past the wall. And they got the first puzzle pieces done. They were on their second chest when the Sele started their puzzle. Sele made up immense time, and you think this is Boston Rob. Right now, he is motivated, he is focused, he's gonna get everything done. However, once we get to the second chest, he starts to crumble. They have like a plan to put certain puzzle pieces with colors separated, and to put they don't even put a puzzle piece up. the rest of the game, and it just seemed weird as Sophie and Sandra are making chopped liver of them and this puzzle pieces as they absolutely destroy it. It's a blowout, a huge blowout, and Dakal wins. They get the spice rack, they get immunity, and Sele is going to go straight to Tribal Council yet again. And this is where I was like, uh-oh, Boston Rob is in trouble. The tribe knows that his wife is at edge of extinction. He is still a major threat, and he lost the puzzle for them for immunity challenge, and he could be totally getting kicked out tonight. However, once they got back to their campsite, Boston Rob was like laughing, having a good time, sitting at the beach with Parvati, and Ethan going like, yeah, you win some, you lose some. What new school person are we getting out? That's when Danny is like on the other side of the island, on the other side of the beach, looking at Ethan, Boston Rob, and Parvati, all laughing and joking and having a good time, and instantly is just paranoid and going, oh, they're gonna get me out. That's what they're laughing about. They're laughing about wanting to get me out. And that's when she goes to Ethan, where Ben is also like 6 inches away from them and is in this like troika of people talking with one another. And Danny's like, look, Boston Rob, I know he said old school stays strong. However, I think that I know it's me going out. And that's what Ethan's like, yo, you know, he's not an old school person. You basically just outed the whole old school alliance right in front of Ben. And Ben is like, yo! He brings up to Ethan that, hey, let's vote out Danny, and it'll show everybody that there's not an old school, new school, like split within the tribe. Danny strikes up a conversation with Rob, and I'm thinking, okay, she wants to like bury the hatchet, say that maybe she overreacted, she got paranoid too quickly, and she's gonna try to smooth things over with Boston Rob. False. She goes straight to him and goes, hey, I wanna get out Parvati, and let's do it tonight. And Boston Rob is like, what? You said that to me? You shouldn't say that to me. Her and I are like this. So he instantly says we get rid of Danny tonight. And right before going to Tribal Council, we have Adam, Jeremy, and Michelle all at the beach talking about who they should get out, and they bring up Parvati's name. So there's 3 names being floated around going into Tribal, and that is Parvati, Ben, and Danny. Now we're at Tribal Council, and it starts off with Adam not being able to find a hole for his torches. Then Ben's talking in circles, and then there's a whole bag search. What is this, the TSA? There's a bag search for hidden immunity idols. Denise is able to do some hand tricks to where, oh, I don't have anything, and she puts it behind the bag. It's actually really impressive, and nothing was gonna get accomplished from this. But we go to the votes, and the votes are read out that 1 vote is for Parvati and the rest are for Danny. So Danny is the 3rd person heading off of this Survivor season, heading to Edge of Extinction to join Natalie and Amba at Edge of Extinction. And that's where this episode ends. However, when looking through the previews, it's not looking good for Boston Rob and Parvati and the Old School Alliance, as now there is only 3. I mean, they're cannibalizing each other, and the only 3 very solid old school people still hanging around each other is Boston Rob, Parvati, and Ethan, and it looks like Denise and Adam are talking about maybe flirting with making a big move by getting one of them out, and it's not looking good for them. Tony also looks like he gets a shark in the next episode, but that's next episode. This episode has ended. What do you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. Who do you think is in the best strategic-wise place in this game? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about Kim going to Sophie and giving her half of the idol? Let me know that in the comment section below. And who are you rooting for? Who are you hoping is the next boot on the next episode of Survivor? Let me know that in the comment section below. And anything and everything you have to say about this season, I want to know. I want to know everything. I would love to talk to you guys about everything that's going on. I'm super excited about this season, and I cannot wait for the next episode for next Thursday. But let me know everything and anything, all comments. Please go to the comment section below. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more videos in general. I have more challenge videos, more challenge content, more Survivor coming out next week and every Thursday. I also have X on the Beach coming out on Fridays. But until then, peace.